Update. Am I the a-hole for telling my mom that she's the cause of all my brother's problems? Original story. I, 33 female, have a sister, 30 female, and a little brother, 17 male. My mom, single mother, our parents divorced when she was still pregnant with my brother, was a wonderful mother to both me and my sister. However, she switched up incredibly while raising my brother. So much to the point that I offered to raise my brother instead. So, my brother, who is now a junior in high school, has self-esteem issues especially related to how he looks/weighs. He was a chubby baby, and my mom used to say negative things to him all the time, which I guess kind of ruined his self-esteem. My sister and I always called him cute, handsome, etc., but obviously our mother's words had a bigger effect on him. To put it in perspective for you guys, he is 6'1", underweight, objectively a good-looking kid, yet still finds himself ugly and/or fat. I, a 5'8" woman, weigh more than him and am at a healthy weight. Anyways, despite everything, he's still a cheerful and talkative kid who really does love our mother, and this makes me 10 times angrier. Now on to the problem. I made a mess in the kitchen yesterday while doing a little baking and accidentally fell asleep on a couch due to exhaustion and forgot to clean up. My mom saw the mess and started screaming at my brother, and my brother said that he'd clean it up and that he was sorry. He basically admitted to doing something he didn't do. And when I found out, I immediately told my mom it was my fault, but she said that it was fine. I asked her to apologize to him, but she said that he was a man and that she doesn't need to. I got mad and told her that if she kept this up, then her son will end up doing something drastic. She said that she wasn't doing anything, and I said something along the lines of, "Seriously? You're literally the cause of all his problems." I also called her a terrible mother. She got mad. She said I didn't go through all this crap for my own daughter to take a boy's side of her own mother's. She made a lot of gender-based comments like, "You're a girl, you should take my side," and "He's a boy, he deserves it," etc. Then she went to her room and slept. Honestly, I'm just confused now. Also, while I don't regret standing up for my brother, I feel like maybe I shouldn't have blamed her for all his issues since it's a pretty big accusation and she's obviously hurt. I'm thinking I should have been more mature. Plus, she wasn't a bad mother to me or my sister, so maybe that wasn't called for too. But yeah, am I the a-hole for blaming my mother for all of my brother's problems? Now for the top comments before reading the update. She sounds misandrous as hell. Does he happen to look like his father? Not the a-hole at all. Now would talk with your brother and try to be his shoulder. Your mom is completely messing him up, and it's maybe too late to undo all her damage. Edit. I'm not implying he's beyond hope of healing, just that it's going to leave scars. So the quicker you help him start healing, the better. We're actually mixed. Our dad is East Asian, mom is white. It looks more Asian than my sister and I, so yes, it does look more like our dad in a way. The fact that it might be too late, that's what I'm terrified about. I'll still try and be his shoulder though. Thanks. I don't mean to imply that it's beyond hope, only it will most likely stay with him to some degree. My heart broke reading your post. I hope you can build up his confidence and lead him to reject her BS that he seems to have accepted and internalized. Edited to add, did mom not initiate divorce? Seems to me she may have unresolved feelings and is taking them out on your brother. Pure speculation on my part though. Not a-hole. Wow, that is some mistreatment there to your brother. Your mom has really bad toxic, sexist anger issues. And if it is in regard to your father, then it is quite messed up that she's taking it out on your brother who is his own person. He's not her former partner. He is her child. I am sorry, but she's abusive and punishing him for his gender. Mistreatment. No excuse, plain and simple. So yes, based on the information presented, she is a bad mother and the cause of his low self-esteem. Not a-hole. Sounds like your mother is a sexist who's taking things out on your brother because he's not female. Wow, you're not a-hole, but your mom surely is. Boys need to be loved and nurtured too. It breaks my heart to hear that she thinks he doesn't deserve an apology just because he's a man. He's still a child. She's an adult. She should know better, and your brother deserves an apology. It's great that you're standing up for him. He needs a good support system. And now for the update. So, nobody really asked for an update, but I'm a bit bored and thought, why not? First off, I'd like to say that after reading your replies, I think the reason why my mom is horrible towards my brother is a mix of him looking like my dad and him being a boy. But I don't know for sure. A bit after I made the post, I went to talk to my brother who was in his room. He was fine, but when I asked him to tell me how he felt about, well, everything, he broke down. My heart broke into a million pieces. At that moment, I knew that he couldn't stay with our mother anymore. So I called my boyfriend of 5 years and asked him if my brother and I could move in for a bit. He has the space, and my brother gets along with him, so he agreed. My mom didn't give a damn. She didn't even say goodbye to him. She asked me if I could stay, but completely ignored my brother's presence. I tried my hardest to stay calm and not shout at her for it, but the way she was acting was so mean. According to my sister, my mother still makes mean comments about my brother even though he's not there. So staying calm is really hard right now. Anyways, I called my dad as well and basically told him everything. He was a bit angry at first because nobody told him this before, and he wouldn't have left any of us in a different country had he known. But he calmed down and talked to my brother for like over an hour, and by the time he hung up, my brother had tears of joy and relief in his eyes. It's still unclear whether my dad will be visiting or if my brother will be moving, or how we're going to proceed from now on due to you know what. But I can assure you that my mother won't be able to say anything to my brother again. Unfortunately, I am unable to put my brother into therapy because I don't have a lot of money on me. But I will try and talk to one of my friends who is pretty knowledgeable in the mental health department and see if I can help my brother. Thanks to everyone who gave their 2 cents. Hey, I'm happy that you got him out of the toxic environment. If you're in the USA, you can apply for medical assistance since your brother has no income. And depending on your age, you might be able to apply for assistance or even get child support from your so-called mom, especially if she is getting child support from your father. Hopping on this comment to say there's centers in the US that offer therapy for as little as $15 a session. Typically, you'll be getting someone who is in training to complete their certification or however it goes, but they're typically watched over by an experienced therapist. You can also get therapy through his school, although this may not be the greatest option if OP doesn't have legal custody. Thank you for posting the update. Your brother is lucky to have you. Thank you for your kind words. I'd say I'm lucky to have that kid as my little brother. A lot of us, mistreated as kids, struggle because no one stood up for us, ever. Your brother will have a long way to go and undoubtedly it messed him up, but you have made sure that's one last point on the long list of trauma this treatment can create. Her brother is lucky to have her. I had to get out of the situation alone and against my family's advice. I went back to my dad's and don't regret it one bit. I'm very sorry about your situation. I can't do much, but I hope you will find peace. I don't know if you're religious, but I'll keep you and every other person who hasn't been able to get out of a horrible situation in my prayers. Thank you. Next story is titled, Am I the a-hole for telling my sister it's too late to keep entertaining the lie about her daughter's paternity? My sister is bisexual, and 22 years ago her and her girlfriend at the time were trying to have a baby. No sperm bank would take 2 broke college students seriously. So they decided to separately hook up with 2 different guys they would meet at a bar. At the time, I thought the idea was so stupid, but they didn't really care. My sister got pregnant, her girlfriend didn't. They both raised the baby until she turned 2 when they broke up. Ever since, my sister has been raising her alone until she got remarried to her husband when my niece was 10. My sister doesn't identify as gay anymore and calls that a phase and refuses to talk about it. My parents were ashamed of it and were happy that she turned straight. My sister made me swear we would tell her daughter that her father and my sister dated and were together for a while, but broke up when he moved to a different state, and that he never wanted to be a father. That was her story. I was 16 when all this was happening, so I didn't really think much of it. My niece is now 22 and is planning on taking a 23andMe test to find her dad. My sister gave her a fake name. She doesn't remember the name of the guy she slept with. So her lies are about to come unraveling because obviously the guy has a different name. And if my niece speaks to him, he'll obviously confirm my sister was a one-night stand and they didn't date for years. My sister plans to tell her daughter is lying and was ashamed because he had a girlfriend from her, and that's how she's going to explain it off to her daughter. But I think it's too late to keep lying. think it's because her husband is conservative and wouldn't accept her seriously dating a woman, planning a baby with her, and even naming my niece after her girlfriend's deceased mother. My sister says I'm an a-hole for not wanting to back her up after keeping her alive for all of these years. Now for the top comments. Not an a-hole, but I'd stay as far away as possible from this big old bomb. Why can't she just say she had a one-night stand for fun, and 9 months later, their niece was? That's not even a lie. She doesn't have to talk about the relationship she was actually in if she doesn't want to. I'm suspecting some conservative/religious beliefs from the sister and husband. Usually when you deny having casual flings and being LGBT, these are usually in the mix. Not an a-hole. The problem with lies is you have to keep telling more lies to cover up the existing lies. Your niece will find the truth and be pissed at your sister for all the lies. She'll be mad at Opie too for going along with it. There's a highlighted post below which spells it out nicely what Opie should say to the niece. She needs to know. And doing it now will possibly salvage their relationship. Whereas if Opie waits and it comes out later that Opie knew, the niece might go no contact with everyone involved. Well, I don't think you're the a-hole necessarily, but why are you hell-bent on putting your head in? I would back way off even if you disagree. When you have your own kids, you can screw them up however you like. But your niece isn't your daughter. If the niece asks you, refer her back to her mother. The niece is a grown-up and will figure it out. And let's say a silent prayer for the biological father who probably doesn't know she ever existed and is about to get his life blown up. I really don't like your sister. How would you feel if you found out you had a 23-year-old you never knew about? Agree with us? Not an a-hole for your opinion and not agreeing to lie for her. But I think you're just going to have to sit back and watch this play out. Don't confirm or deny. Just say it's not your place or you will be the a-hole. Now for the last story. Am I the a-hole for recording my kid and proving that he's playing my ex and I? Our son 5 has been having nightmares for the past few months. He'd wake up crying every night, and it was pretty distressing. We got him into therapy, but it didn't seem to be helping. I got a little suspicious after a month. I'd hear him walking around in his room an hour or so before he'd start crying, but when I got up there, he'd be back in bed. I brought it up with his mom, but she just said he'd started sleepwalking, and when he woke up, got back into bed because he knew he wasn't supposed to be up. It made sense, so I left it. Now, the way we deal with his nightmares is very different. She'll get up, make him a bottle, sometimes run him a bath, get him into fresh clothes, and then put him in her bed. She also has started giving him his pacifier back. I soothe him and get him back into bed. I'll get him a bottle if he asks, but otherwise I'm just intent on both of us getting a good night's sleep. He became resistant to my method a few weeks ago, and would instead scream for his mom. The first couple of nights I put him in my bed and slept on a couch, but the third night I called my ex to come and get him. It worked pretty much like that every night. This week I put up the old baby cams in his room. He used to have it on a fixture above his crib, so it wasn't too difficult. Lo and behold, he woke up, completely fine, and started playing with his toys. After about 40 minutes, he quietly put them all away, got back into bed, and started crying. Like usual. I sorted him out, got him into my bed, and the next day I called my ex to tell her about it. She didn't say much regarding the situation, bar telling me we'd bring it up on therapy. She was pretty angry though, saying I had violated our son's privacy, and she no longer felt comfortable letting him stay the night. I told her she was being ridiculous. She grabbed a kiddo and left. The next day in therapy, I naturally brought it up. Again, my ex diverted the conversation and we essentially wound up arguing. We left and headed back to mine. After a little while, she said that it didn't matter that he was acting up. He clearly needed more attention and love, and I was trying to make him seem like a bad kid. I told her that wasn't the truth, but we need to take steps to punish him for lying. Lying is bad, and he shouldn't do it. She's still angry, and so not much got through to her. A mutual friend agreed that I was in the wrong, and should spoke to his mom regarding it before. And I kind of get where they're coming from, but I still think it's an we all suck situation rather than just me. Am I the a-hole? I don't know. Clearly he is acting out for some reason and may need some correction, But I am more shocked you and your ex give a 5-year-old, a school-aged child, a bottle. And the ex started giving him a pacifier too. I'm just going to copy and paste this explanation, lol. He's really bad with drinking slowly and swallowing. At night he's still on a bottle as it's hard for him to choke on it. During the day we're still teaching him to drink and chew slowly. And his pediatrician knows this and has given you guys a number for an occupational therapist, right? He knows, and it's not a therapy thing. He was with an occupational therapist for a while, but we stopped going with COVID. We may start up again, but it was honestly just costing us a lot of money and he wasn't getting any better. I don't see this as a violation of privacy, but as gathering more information to bring to the expert, the therapist, for all of you to get on the same page to try to help your son overcome this trauma. Strictly from an outside, non-expert's opinion, I'd worry that your ex's response might actually be increasing his nightmare crying episodes. But either way, he is waking up and acting out in distress, and that is what you all need to be focusing on. No a-holes here. I am worried about that too, but I do intend on getting him the help he needs.